Hello everyone, this is Mr.arorora, and today we're continuing on how to sculpt a female body tutorial. So let's get to it. At first, let's adjust our smooth tool and slowly smooth out our surfaces. Don't smooth out everything completely because we still need some definition of muscle and archi- architecture, but smooth out the rough shapes, of course. And also, if you don't really want to defined sculpture, smooth out. But if you want a defined sculpture, smooth out, then uh, resculpt it when you increase the polygon count because it's still too low poly for a good sculpture. So if that is out of the way, let's continue. Okay, now we have a small problem here. For some reason, the one vertex, one loop around our body is annoyingly standing there. So let's go to the edit mode and see. I believe there's an extra loop here, extra few loops. Let's try to dissolve it. It's not happening. Why? Hmm. Let's try to move it and see. If it if you couldn't find the problem, move it. And yeah, it's connected to stupidly because we forced the Blender to remesh our character. So this kind of problems will occur no matter what you do. So let's delete the edges and see. Oh, yeah, we did only delete some of the edges. Okay, let's go back few steps and delete faces and refill them. As you can see, this is not how it should be. Okay, let's delete these vertices. Okay, and select our loops and fill them. But manually doing this is a huge waste of time. Instead of doing that, select your loops from the left side of the model and from the right side of the model and right click your mouse and bridge edge loops. But we don't want triangles, so right click again and select your face selecting tool and make sure that you choose turn triangles into quads. So as you can see, let's check the whole body for a better measure. Although I don't want to have a problem at this point, so okay. Okay, this side is alright. Let's smooth it out. This is kind of annoying, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it be. Because at the end of the day, we're going to retopologize this model as well. So these small problems will not cause too much issue. Also, let's add another loop cut here for a good measure. Mm, yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna leave it be for now. And let's try smoothing out this sharp line and see if it's working this time. Yes, it is working all right now. Okay, let's do that to whole body. All right. All right. So it looks much better now. And we have a rough version of a female body at this point. However, we need details. Also, this armpit doesn't look good. Something's off here. Let's smooth it out and fix it. Smooth in, smooth in, smooth in. There we go. As you can see the edge flow. This is the reason we need good edge flows. Or otherwise, it's going to make our modeling sessions much more harder. Yeah. So don't always rely on the tools that you have in your hand, but learning some mastery and understanding of tools and how you should use them is a great training and lesson for all of us, because if we rely on Blender's own tools to do so many of our works, it will not solve the problems we will encounter future on later on. So I'll always suggest you to, yes, use the tools in your hand to make your life easier, but don't rely on them too much. Learn to be independent. This is a kind of a lesson that goes for all parts of our lives. Like, yes, learn about something, but don't simply rely on one information. Learn how to solve the same problems in different ways. And this will really improve your problem solving skills in general. Now we will slowly build up a little bit of mass, because I don't want to have too much of a gap here. And from our reference, we can see that that side isn't that empty. There are some muscles and ligaments going through there, so be careful of that. We are not trying to make them look too permanent, but I want to give our character a humanoid silhouette and smooth body. Like, I don't want my character to be too much defined with muscle or something. But I'm still going to make sure that she has some definition, but not too much. So it's just about finding the gray area. Okay. We will use our crease tool to give our character some definition. As you can see, the muscles here, the abdominal muscles. And try to use it lightly. Uh, make don't rise up the strength of your tool. Instead, lower it as well because we don't want a strong definition. We want a minimal definition to show us, yes, this character has muscle. However, this character also have a bit of fat. And the gray area to achieve that is keeping your tools. Uh, don't use them with high strength modifiers. Instead, use them with slow strength modifiers and slowly create definition. Don't try to create that definition immediately. Experiment with the shapes and the model itself. Otherwise, going in too fast will create too much problems and you will go over that area too many times until you're satisfied. And instead of doing that, slowly try to give her definition or give them the whatever. And this rule can be applied to any kind of 3D model you're working on, like hard surface modeling, soft surface modeling, sculptures, anything. Don't rush in for details. Slowly build up details. So this is a practice I have learned from drawing, painting, because otherwise, creating too much detail in a single motion isn't professional, and like in any medium you try, it's gonna ruin your work, and you will have to go back in to fix it. And in many cases, for example, real life sculpting or drawing, painting, you don't have that courtesy. In digital media, yes, you can go back from your fails. You can always press on Control Z, and go back few steps back. But in real life, you don't have that button. So learning to keep holding back, holding back is a very important thing in this medium. As you can see, we are slowly giving our character their definition, and it really helps us visualize our character. For example, women have chest muscles as well under their breasts. So it's important if you're creating a slim character that their chest muscles kind of need to be prominent. Not too much prominent, but you kind of need to see the connections to the bone, the ligaments to the bones, as you can see from the reference. It is prominent, but we have a skin layer on top of that, so it's kind of hard to get used to. But once you get used to of understanding the body and the muscles, you'll get a better idea and better understanding, and your sculptures will show that. So always remember, having a reference and learning some anatomy really helps out. Also, we have muscles coming from our underneath our buttocks to our low shins, thighs. Sorry, thighs, and they're going to create some definition. So yeah, one mistake I made here was abiding by the reference image I used. So because of that, my character has a thick thighs. I mean, it's not an issue for many of us. So yeah. Anyhow, but when you're trying to create a professional work, try not to over sexualize them. Like there are, yes, too many sexualized characters out there with ungodly amounts of shape. Yes, it's appealing to the eye, but in a professional sense, it's really looks all stupid and unrealistic. So I'm not saying I don't like it. Yes, I do enjoy seeing something like that, but that's out of the question. We're trying to create a professional work. First, we need to understand creating this. Then, if you want to create a overly sexualized character, yes, you can. Why not? It's your big computer and your project. So this is the part of the job nobody talks about. Yes, there are going to be models that need to be sexy, and there are models going to be models that look awful, look fat, thin, slim. Doesn't matter. Our job is not to judge bodies. Instead, our job and profession is to learn how they work, how they look, and how they function. At least in a sense, even though we don't really understand the muscle or anatomy of humans, we just learn how it looks. So, and if we really want to learn, why not? Learning is a good thing, and more you learn about something, the better your understanding of reality and some things gets better. So, okay, let's narrow this place a little. Okay, this looks much more realistic. Let's move it out. So as you can see, we have a somewhat of a realistic body right now. I'm saying realistic with um like the how's the saying goes? Mm, like the underneath is lined, like drawn out with a line. Like yes, it is realistic to a degree, not 100% realistic. And we are not still done yet. We will continue to create definition and see how it goes. So this is the process. Slowly repeating your steps is important, and make sure that you check every side of your character. Don't focus on one side. Try to focus on multiple sides to understand the shapes, and always keep in mind that we don't work without references. I have a second screen that I check for reference images, so that is why I always stop and check some stuff. By the way, working with two monitors is something so great. Like, get used to that. Like, any graphic designer or any designer needs that. Like, that's one of the most important things you need in your arsenal. Having two screens instead of one. Because at least in one screen you can work, and in the second one you have another project maybe, or if you're a workaholic, or you can keep your reference there, or even some cases you can separate your modeling file or project into two screens to see what's happening in one screen and see what's happening in the other one, like having two different angles. It really helps you a lot in 3D softwares, especially in 3D softwares. All right, so we can slowly create our spine, but make sure to don't over um, expose the spine, because this is not a monster. This is just a regular human, and the spine isn't that prominent in most of the case. This is a skinny character, so skinny people's spines are much more prominent to be seen. Yes, and after you're done, smooth it out a little to see how it looks, because don't create too much definition. That's one of the killer moves for any projects. Yes, you need definition and characteristics, but if if you're not going for too much defined character, don't give them too much definition. Like, the urge to, you know, put more clay there or more definition there is strong, yes, but you need to keep a pace and keep yourself from doing that. Other than that, this is all for today's episode. In the next episode, we will turn this sculpture into something new, like a medicine, Lamia character, like something like that. So keep that in mind. Also, an easy way to pose this character is creating a simple rig and applying automatic weights. Like, that is good enough if you're just going to pose this character. But if you're going to animate it, create a custom rig or use an add-on. I prefer to create my own rigs because um, in that case, I know what I'm doing and I have much more reach to my character's motions and movements. Otherwise, yes, you can use pre-made stuff. It's optional. Of course, you can use that, but I prefer to keep my own, make it my own, so that I know what's going on and I have an understanding of what kind of process is that as well. Anyways, this is all for today. So, thank you for joining me in this session, and I'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe and stay awesome. Bye.